You're lying in bed, backs turned, bodies folded into silence. Not because you're tired, but because being right felt more important than being close. You see, it started as a small disagreement, didn't it? Maybe over something trivial like weekend plans or how to load a freaking dishwasher. But somewhere between your carefully constructed points and their sharp rebuttals, the thread snapped. It's haunting, isn't it, though? That feeling of winning the argument, but losing the connection. Like you've scaled the peak of a mountain only to realize your person is somewhere in the valley, unseen and unreachable. But you just have to be right. Well, welcome back, my friends, to the Voyage Cast. I'm Eddie, your host, your marriage cheerleader, and when needed, your friendly reality check. Today's episode cuts deep, I hope, into the heart of something that unravels so many relationships quietly, or maybe even not so quietly, depending on how heated you get. But it does it thread by thread. It's this compulsion to be right. I'll say it now, even if it stings a little bit, and it probably will, because some of us just are so desperate to be right, like I tend to fall into this category. Your need to win a fight, to prove your point, and to hold the moral high ground, it might feel like clarity. It might even feel like justice or validation. But it's slowly poisoning the intimacy that you long for. I watch it happen with my clients. I've even experienced this personally, and it took me a couple years to get back on track. Hopefully this episode will help you maybe curb some of that, or at least start that process of getting back on track like I had to. So let's get into it. Here's the thing about being right. It feels so darn good. It makes you feel secure, competent, even vindicated. And I totally get this because I have this compulsion. Winning an argument can feel like a small triumph in a day that might otherwise feel messy and unpredictable. But in the economy of love, rightness has an exorbitant cost. It's the emotional equivalent of using gold bars to buy groceries, which would be ridiculous. You'll walk out of the store with bread and eggs, sure, but the transaction's going to leave a massive void, because how do you break that down? Rightness feeds your ego. It starves your connection. And marriage isn't built on ego, is it? It's built on vulnerability, humility, and connection. And if you think it's built on ego, you will fail. Think of a surgeon. The best ones don't just know the right procedure. They know how to move gently around the most sensitive tissues. They don't barge in with scalpels blazing because they're technically correct about what their goal or objective is. They move with care, with reverence. They know what's at stake here isn't just precision, it's actually preservation. It's to heal. Too often, you see, we confuse our need to be right with our need to feel really understood or valued. And when we evaluate being correct over being compassionate, we not only dismiss our partner's experiences, but we fracture the trust that was supposed to hold us together. So what starts to happen here? Let's think about kind of the trend. You stop listening and you start defending. Classic. You sharpen your words into weapons. You're always waiting for that rebuttal, right? And then you prioritize proving your partner wrong over understanding where they're coming from. You hold on to the truth without extending any kind of grace or even willingness to attempt to understand that maybe their perspective might have some value at minimum. So why do we do this, though? Why is it so gosh darn hard to peel our fingers away from the need to be right? This isn't just stubbornness. For most of us, this is a need that is deeply rooted in old, tender wounds, probably. Maybe in childhood, you were only affirmed when you were correct, or being right became a shield against being rejected. Maybe you grew up in chaos, and controlling a narrative, even if it's an argument, is a way to feel safe, or the only way to feel safe. Or maybe you were just insecure and you had to prove yourself to a lot of people. But here's the hard reality. That script obviously no longer serves you, and I promise it doesn't. If you're clinging to rightness because you believe it will protect your worth, your value, or whatever, you're bargaining against your relationship. So what's the alternative? It's not denying truth or ignoring real issues or reality. It's taking the brave, vulnerable step of prioritizing your connection first over contention. I know that sounds painfully soft for some of you, but really hear me out. This episode is brought to you by Voyage Counseling, the mothership of the Voyage Cast. Life has its ups and downs, and sometimes we all need a little help navigating the tricky parts. And that's where Voyage Counseling comes in. Our team of licensed therapists are here to provide support and guidance, helping you to gain clarity and confidence as you move forward. Whether you're working through challenges, improving your relationships, or focusing on your personal growth, Voyage Counseling offers care that's tailored to you. We're committed to making sure every step you take feels meaningful and manageable. And if you're ready to take that step, visit voyagescounseling.com to learn more or book your first session. You don't have to go it alone. And, by the way, we do take most major insurances. I want to give you 5 practical practices to break free from the grip of rightness and instead reinforce the bond that keeps your marriage alive. And usually at the other end of that bond, we end up finding much more room to be heard, known, and seen, which a lot of times we're trying to vie for by being right. So check out these steps. Listen to them, practice them, give them a go, and see if this doesn't change at least a little bit of the trajectory that you're on.
Well, tell me all about it.
So step 1 here would be shift the goal. The next time you feel the urge to argue, pause. Bite your tongue if you have to. Ask yourself, what do I want more, to win or to be correct? This split-second decision can change the temperature of the entire conversation. Number 2, name the fear. When you feel your defenses rising, dig deep. What's the deeper fear or pain being poked at here? Is it the fear of losing control, of being invisible, of being dismissed, of being relegated to worthlessness? The argument is often a symptom, not the root cause. Number 3, choose curiosity over certainty. I talk to my clients all the time about being curious. It's a way better approach. Try this line the next time you're in mid-disagreement. Help me understand what this feels like for you. Does that sound disarming? It should. Curiosity softens defensiveness and opens a path for connection. So if they're coming at you and you don't understand or you're prone to rebuttal, go into help me understand. Give me some idea of what we're talking. I'm lost. Whatever it is, you're going into a curious approach. Number 4, validate without agreement. Here's a tip that actually took me years to learn as a therapist, but more personally than anything. Saying you're hurt, and I see that, doesn't mean you're admitting guilt. Validation is not surrender, it's empathy. You can understand somebody's opinion and position on an issue without agreement and without anything. You're just understanding them. You're giving them the place to be known. Number 5, repair quickly. Stop waiting for the perfect time or condition to extend an olive branch and say, hey, I'm sorry. And usually when you're apologizing in this kind of situation, remember, it's not, I'm sorry for the content or the thoughts that I've had. It's more, I'm sorry for how I presented all those things because I might have been an ass. So repair doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to happen. Really trust me on this one if you could. There aren't quick fixes. There are practices that grow like roots, slowly but powerfully grounding your marriage in love and not ego. So what happens now? Where does this leave you? If you're aching from the fallout of proving your partner wrong, I want you to consider something. What if being right doesn't actually matter as much as you think it does? What if it's actually costing you more than you're willing to admit? Can I challenge you to drop the defenses? To be vulnerable, even though that might be terrifying? Can I challenge you to consider that this kind of vulnerability might actually be the gateway to the intimacy that you've been so desperately longing for? Because being the first to say I'm sorry for how I showed up or how I care more about us than this argument isn't weakness. It's actually strength. Not the kind of strength of dominance that maybe you think you need to have to crush them, but the strength of love. Here's a simple idea. Tonight, instead of holding on to your point, hold on to your partner. Stop fighting to be right and start fighting to stay close. Now, I know this is not going to address every single issue that you guys are up against. I know that sometimes we have to deal with things that are just right. If the gas is getting low in the car and you're on a trip, it's correct that you need to stop and go get gas. It doesn't matter how anybody feels about it. Sometimes things just need to happen. So I understand there is nuance to what we're talking about. I'm speaking more broadly to those of you that get triggered in arguments and seemingly are unable to stop yourself from pursuing these negative interactional cycles and then go to the primary experience and be curious about what the hell is really going on underneath all these reactions. That's what I'm speaking to. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me again today to discuss maybe a difficulty, maybe something that you've been struggling with for a long time. And if you're like any other married couple, this is probably the case for you. And if this did stir up something for you, please share this with your friend, your loved ones, or whoever you think might need this, who thinks they're always right all the time. That might be the best person to send this to. And if you're interested in digging a little deeper, we do have a written form of this episode. Just check the show notes for that. If you want to support the Voyage Cast, we got Patreon. You can do that too. Check out all of our other episodes. We've got a ton of great information out there for you to grow, to develop, to heal, to recover in your relationships and in your life. So until next time, breathe into the tension, lean toward love, and keep voyaging, my friends. And yes, I know that's cheesy.